bottom never feels like the bottom. Whenever we get to the bottom, there's always fear that we're breaking down into a lower bottom. But these higher lows on the macro tell me that the historic value of Bitcoin is on the rise. It is increasing. That is, the perception of the value of Bitcoin is on a general historic uptrend. Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Friday, June 10th at 8:45 a.m. here in Northern California. In this video today, I want to talk to you about lessons from the bottom. Lessons from the bottom. What can we learn about being at the bottom that will help us to understand where we are right now and how we should experience, how we should perceive where we are right now? Lessons from the bottom. First thing I want to do is take a look at the RSI here on the Bitcoin chart. This is the weekly Bitcoin chart. And what we can see is that we're coming right up to a line of support, a historic line of support towards the bottom of the RSI. See that? We're right at this line of support. I'm going to make it a solid line so that we can see it more clearly. And this is a line that we hit in March of 2020 when the bottom fell out of the market. Remember that? When we hit the bottom, we've come back to that bottom. Now we've been close to this position. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times in the history of Bitcoin. So it is very rare that the RSI comes to this position. Can the RSI go lower? Of course, the RSI can absolutely go lower. The point I'm making is that even as low as we already are, this is only the 5th time in Bitcoin's history, at least the history of this chart that goes back to November of 2011, in the last 11 years, that we have come to this point in the RSI that we have been this low on the relative strength index. Now, what does this RSI, this relative strength index, mean? Well, it's easy. Anything close to or above this line is called overbought. Anything close to or below this line is called oversold. Now, there's another way of putting this that would make it more simple and more readily understandable, and that's this. When this line is high, Bitcoin is overvalued. When this line is low, Bitcoin is undervalued. Now, which is the better opportunity? When Bitcoin is overvalued or when Bitcoin is undervalued? It's counterintuitive, isn't it? Because intuitively, we get so excited when Bitcoin is up here, not realizing that whenever Bitcoin gets into this range, gets up here, it means it's about to crash. And likewise, whenever Bitcoin gets down here into this range, we're so sad. And the narrative is all negative. Everything everybody says about it is negative, not realizing that when Bitcoin gets down into this lower range, it means it's about to pump. The problem is our natural human inclination, our emotional inclination is to be excited at the wrong time and to be scared at the wrong time. And if you look at the fear-greed index, which we've looked at multiple times before, let me pull that up. What you tend to see is the correlation that the lower this line gets, the deeper we get into fear. And the higher this line gets, the deeper we get into greed. Fundamental lesson for investing in cryptocurrency is that you buy fear and you sell greed. Another way of looking at it is that when it's up here, you sell it, or you take some profit at least. And when it's down here, you buy it, at least DCA, dollar cost average in. So the safest place to buy Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, or any asset is when this line comes down to the bottom of its range. The lower this line gets, the more undervalued the asset is in the market. And the more undervalued the asset is in the market, the safer it is to buy. See, we were all excited over here. This is November 8th, 2021. And if we go to this place, November 8th, 2021, Bitcoin was 69,000. But seeing that we were at the top of the range here in terms of the RSI and hitting the overbought position, this was a far more dangerous place than we're in right now. However, fear was not very high. November 8th, 2021, if we look at the grid for fear and greed index, let's see if we can find November. Here it is. Right in this area here, 75, which means we were way into greed. Way over here at 75. At this super dangerous place, looking at the RSI, we were greedy. We were excited, which means we felt the wrong thing emotionally. And it's human nature. It doesn't matter how much technical analysis you learn. It doesn't matter how much fundamental analysis you learn. It doesn't matter how many times you tell yourself not to feel that. The truth is, we were all elated at this point. Most of us were elated, and we were trying hard not to be. But it's counterintuitive. The lower this line goes, the safer it is to buy. The higher this line goes, the more dangerous it is to buy. You could almost just look at this line, and when it gets down beneath the middle, at say 50, start dollar cost averaging in and buy it all the way down. And then when it gets above, I don't know, say 60, start taking profit incrementally as it goes up without even looking at the price, and you would make money. That's the power of the relative strength index. And that's why my technical analysis methodology is so simple. I'm simply looking at convergence, divergence of price and RSI, taking into account volume and other factors as well. You know, I've got some moving averages, Benjamin Cohen's bull market support band, which is now a bear market resistance band. But all of those are secondary and tertiary data points for me. The primary data point is the correspondence between the price and the RSI. And right now, what the RSI is telling me is that Bitcoin has only been this cheap, this undervalued in the market 5 times in its history. This is only the 5th time in Bitcoin's history that it has been as undervalued as it is right now. Now, with that being said, so lessons from the bottom. First lesson, and really all of these lessons are a restatement of each other. The bottom never feels like the bottom. That's the thing we got to realize. The bottom never feels like the bottom. Whenever we get to the bottom, there's always fear that we're breaking down into a lower bottom. I mean, over here, people were calling an $11,000 Bitcoin. Like it was, you know, the end has come. And over here, people are calling an $11,000 Bitcoin. The end has come. Is an $11,000 Bitcoin possible? Sure, it's possible, but it's highly improbable. Why? Because there's not, all right, yes, the RSI could break down to these lower levels, but if you look at what's happened historically, we're making higher lows on the macro. So what that tells me is that we could come down and hit this line here. But these higher lows on the macro tell me that the historic value of Bitcoin is on the rise. It is increasing. That is, the perception of the value of Bitcoin is on a general historic uptrend. Even though it rises and falls within that uptrend, we have higher lows on the macro that go all the way back to December of 2014, okay? Now, if we break beneath this line, that's a different story. But coming all the way down to this line and then breaking out, we're safe. Now, if Bitcoin comes down to this line here, how far does that mean we've crashed? Well, it's really hard to say. But I would say that the support would be somewhere around our previous all-time high at the 20,000 mark. In my opinion, that's the lowest Bitcoin can go. Do I think it's going to go that low? No, I do not. I think we hit the bottom right here at 25,367. I think that's the bottom. I think it's going to consolidate for a little while, and then it's going to start its march back towards the top of this range again. We're going to at least retest the top of this line, if not break above it. That's what I think. Now, I want to look at the altcoin market chart. I'm going to do another video, maybe a couple more videos in which I explain this in more detail. Matter of fact, I talked about this in my video 2 days ago. But I'm expecting the altcoin market to hold this line, and then I'm expecting it to break out. Now, this is hidden bullish divergence. We've got lower lows, and then we've got flat, right? So that's hidden bullish divergence in the RSI. On the macro, on the weekly chart, I'm expecting a breakout between now and September to retest this line. That would be about a 55% increase for the altcoin market between now and September 5th, somewhere around 55%. That's what I'm expecting. If we break past this line, we're going to head towards making another all-time high, or we could get rejected at this line and come back down and retest this low before breaking out. Only time will tell. But even if we are in a multi-year bear market, which is definitely very possible, that doesn't mean we're not going to see breakouts like this. It's going to ebb and flow. We saw a little bear market here, and then we broke out. And now we've seen another bear market here, and then I think we're going to break out. We may see another one, and then we'll break out. But at a certain point, we're coming out of this, and we're going to make higher highs. That's what I'm expecting. So be on the lookout for that. All right, I know this is a short video today, but that's all I got for you. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video has been brought to you by the members of my Patreon community at patreon.com/cryptogenic. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and leave me a comment letting me know what you think. Also, hit that subscribe button and that bell so that you get notified whenever I put out more content. Thank you so much for viewing today. Remember to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. This is Cryptogenic, signing out.